So recently on my channel, I have showcased many different cameras and gadgets that can help you with your creative workflow, whether that's the Osmo Pocket 3, the Insta360 X4, or gimbal such as the ZHIYUN Weebill 3E. Now in today's video, I am taking things to a whole new level because a lot of us maybe perhaps do not have a mirrorless camera. Maybe we don't own a Pocket 3, maybe we don't have an Insta360 camera, but what we all do have in common is an iPhone or a Samsung phone, an Android, an Apple device with a fantastic camera. And in today's video, I'm going to be showcasing you the latest and greatest from ZHIYUN that you can leverage with your phone to create the cinematic sequences that you're looking for. So let's get this video started. What's going on, guys? This is Eddie, aka Mr. Eddie Nunez. Welcome back to another video, and I'm very excited today to be showing you another product, but it's not just another product to kind of push, it's up to you whether you buy it or not. I'm actually going to give you real life scenarios on this gimbal here from ZHIYUN. This is ZHIYUN. I know everybody says it differently. This is a gimbal for your phone, and it is quite an amazing little tool. I actually never thought that I would use a phone gimbal for my phone, and this here is the Smooth 5S. So there is a Smooth 5 that came out I think a few years ago, 2 years ago, but this is the Smooth 5S Pro that I'm holding in my hands, and is quite the machine because it's not just any ordinary gimbal for your phone. It has additional features such as AI, and it has built-in fill lights as well. So let me go ahead and first sort of unbox what's in this case when you buy it. We're gonna first talk about specs on this gimbal. We're gonna talk about some specs, and then we're gonna jump into some testimonials as I have been using it for the last 3 weeks. So first and foremost, you actually get the gimbal itself, right? So you do get the actual gimbal, and this is how it looks right out the box. It has some locking mechanisms, so you're able to unlock the 3 different axes. You also get the tripod that connects to the bottom here. So you get this little guy that connects right underneath to the bottom. And then 2 like really mind-blowing things that you get is the AI adapter, and we'll get to this in a second, what exactly it does with AI. And then you also get a light, so you get a sort of like another light that's in addition to the fill light that you already have. So let me set this aside. Oh, and one more thing, of course you get like a manual, you get a charger, but you also get these little deflectors that you can add to the light so that you can kind of change the tone. And that's not a deflector. I'm forgetting the name of what's this called. But the first thing we want to do is unlock the gimbal. And I'll show you how easy this is. You unlock it. You unlock the 3 axes, just like so. To mount my phone, I always like to lock the gimbal again, just so that it can kind of stay in place. And then you want to go ahead and just mount your phone on top, and balancing it is very, very simple. It's actually much more simple than balancing a camera gimbal. Actually, there you go. That's all you have to do. The AI algorithm does the rest. So Once we have that in place and we have it now kind of locked here, let me go ahead and lock it. Let me show you the really cool thing. So remember, we have the AI adapter, right? That sticks right on top with a magnet. And the magnets are so strong that you can almost, there you go, look at that. You can almost lift the whole gimbal with an iPhone 15 Pro Max. And then you have the actual other light. So you have two lights, as I mentioned. You have this fill light, and then you have another LED light at the bottom. So that is just so cool that they actually thought about all of this. And then you have the little, gosh, I'm forgetting the name of this, but it's almost like a softbox that you add. So this is also magnetic, and you add it right to the bottom, just like so. And that just changes your light so that it's softer. So it's like a softbox, but it's not a softbox. It's a magnetic device that you add on top. And as you saw, that was sort of my unboxing and setup. And as you saw how easy it was, then the next step, all you have to do is just turn on the gimbal. So you turn on the gimbal. Once you turn it on, it automatically balances itself. That's how easy and convenient it is. Let me go ahead and turn it on by pressing the power button here. All right, so now the gimbal is powered on, and as you can see, it's keeping my phone completely leveled. And there's different modes that you can place this in. So you have like pan follow, you have sort of tilt lock, you have vortex, which is actually really cool because vortex allows you to do these vortex maneuvers that you can do on the expensive gimbals. Now you can do it all on your phone, and it's going to be too bright, so let me go ahead and turn on the light. But I'm outdoors, obviously, so here is the light on, and you see you have a fill light, and then you also have you know, the other little LED light at the bottom. You can also use this scroll wheel here to zoom in and out, and then you have a joystick button here where you can go ahead and control the movement as well if you're like in a lock position. So many different features, and what I like about it the most is that it is lightweight. So sometimes I don't want to carry my, you know, Sony mirrorless camera. Perhaps I'm not with my Pocket 3, perhaps I don't have my Insta360 X4 as I mentioned, but what I always do have is my phone. And then if I'm gonna go out and kind of want to keep my gear to a minimalist setup, then all I have to do is just really bring my phone in this gimbal. And I think that is the game changer when it comes to my audience that wants to create content. So if you're flying drones, for example, you want to go ahead and start vlogging, you want to go ahead and start shooting tutorial videos, and you don't have a camera or a Pocket 3 or a GoPro, you don't need it. You could just use your phone and use your gimbal and come up with some really cinematic sequences. So let me go ahead and just stop here. I'm gonna go ahead and play sort of a sequence that I did using this here at this park. And then I'll come back. We're gonna deep dive into the specs, and I'm actually gonna show you how the AI feature works on this, which is pretty cool. So let's go ahead and roll that sequence. So I hope that you enjoyed that sequence as much as I did enjoy shooting it. Let me go ahead and deep dive into now the AI features before we get into the specs. I want to show you how this works because I think this is actually a really cool feature. So the first thing you want to do is you want to download an application called ZHIYUN in order to use it. So you want to have ZHIYUN, and then you also want to have an application called STA-CAM, STA-CAM. And I'll go ahead and kind of show you a screenshot of how this works, of the actual apps, I mean, on the phone that you want to download. I'm downloading it, I'm using an iPhone, obviously, so I'm downloading it for iOS. So what you want to do is once you open up the application, you want to go ahead and flip it, not 4 times like I just did. So you just want to flip it by pressing 3 times, 1, 2, 3. And that's just going to flip the gimbal over in your direction. And then let me turn off this light because we don't need it. And then once you have it flipped in your direction, there's just a lot of different things you can do. What I'm going to demonstrate to you. All right, so the first thing I want to show you is the AI features before we get into the specs. And it's actually quite cool. So you want to go ahead and do this. And as you can see, now the actual gimbal is actually tracking me. So as I move, it's literally tracking me, and it can go up, it'll go down. It's literally tracking all my maneuvers. If I want to stop the tracking, I just raise my hand here and tell it to stop. And as you can see, it's no longer tracking my face. It's not tracking, but again, we're gonna go like this, and it's gonna go ahead and start to track again. And give me 1 second. That's the problem when you film outdoors. We got the Bayesians out here being reckless on the speakerphone. Anyway, let me not digress. You stop here again. Let me stop. There you go. It's, well, actually it didn't stop. It's going to give you an LED. It has an LED indicator that's going to tell you if it's stopping or not. It's going to tell you exactly the status. So right now it's still tracking me. And if you want to go ahead and record, you're just going to go ahead and show your 2 fingers just like so. And then it should automatically start recording. Let me go ahead. Oh, look, I can't even check to see if it actually started recording because it's still tracking my face. But now that I stopped it, let me flip it around and let's actually see, did it start recording me? And it did. It did start recording, which is fantastic. So those are, you know, I think the AI feature pretty much on this gimbal is just amazing. The fact that you have AI and it works pretty well. I mean, like, I'm gonna go ahead and walk away here for a second, and I'm gonna walk away from the camera. And as you can see, this is still tracking me. What a freaking amazing technology on the gimbal. That itself sold me. I've always downplayed gimbals. But when I saw this feature that it can track me, it can do all this, I said, wow, this is gonna be a game changer when out there filming. And again, you wanna have a minimalistic a setup with your gear, because literally this just fits right in this cool, convenient case. And then you always have your phone with you. Now let's go ahead and deep dive into the specs. Let's talk about specs, because I think specs is important, especially when you're talking about a phone gimbal. You wanna know what you're getting for your money. First, I want to start with, and I'm looking here at my notes because I want to make sure that I am as accurate as possible. But first, let's start with the pricing. So there's 3 different versions of this. There's the standard, there's the combo, and there's the pro. And you can go ahead on the ZHIYUN website to see the difference between the 3. Here, what I'm showcasing for you today, this is the Smooth 5S AI Pro combo. So this comes in at a price of $249. Whereas the standard starts at $169. So you're going to go ahead and look at the different options there and decide for yourself which one you think fits your style, your need. I am the type of person that I always like going with the best of the kits. So in this case, the Pro, to make sure that I have everything that I need and I'm not buying accessories later on or regretting not purchasing the Pro kit. So I highly encourage that you look at the Pro kit. Jumping right into the specs. So the first thing I want to talk about is just the design of the gimbal itself. It's very sleek. It's convenient to hold in your hands. Everything, the buttons and everything was placed, I think, strategically very well. and it's extremely lightweight, as I alluded to earlier in the video. So I think everything, just the position of everything, I wouldn't change not a single thing on this gimbal. And then the next thing we want to discuss is, you know, obviously what I started with at the beginning of the video, and that is these magnetic add-ons. So I think the magnetic add-ons is what makes this gimbal unique and different. So you have your light, as I mentioned, and it's already with the fill light up here, but you have an additional added on light, which I've tested at home at night and it works fantastic. And then you have the AI clip on that goes right on top, and you can swap these out. I want to mention that as well. You can have the light on the top, the AI at the bottom. There's no right or wrong way of setting this up, but you do have the ability to swap them out. And then because of the AI, you have intelligent gesture control, which I think is what makes this gimbal extremely unique and sets it apart from the competition. So there's 4 different gestures that you can go ahead and do with your fingers to kind of initiate an action. You have, you know, the start with gesture. You have the stop. You have the custom framing tracking, and then you have capture or record control. So those are the things that you can do with the AI that, again, is game changer when it comes to a phone gimbal. I don't think there is a gimbal out there that does this. I know Insta360 made something like this, but I never looked into it. I just think that, though, you know, ZHIYUN is known for their gimbals, and I would rather go with a reputable company that's known for creating gimbals versus an action camera company trying to create a gimbal. Now, this gimbal doesn't sacrifice in terms of modes. You have all the different modes here that you can find in your standard gimbal that you can use perhaps on your mirrorless camera, or if you have like the Weebill, for example. All those very familiar modes are included with this ZHIYUN Smooth 5S, and that is go mode, lock mode, POV mode, vortex mode, my favorite, pan follow, and then follow mode. You have all of this conveniently located on your ZHIYUN Smooth, and then you can easily control that just by tapping on the various mode options here on the back. So everything is just as easy as using your thumb to access and change, which again, convenience is a big selling point when it comes to the gear that you're using to create your cinematic sequences. And as you saw from my real example, this is very cinematic. The fact that it's a phone gimbal doesn't really sacrifice the stabilization, and that's what makes it cinematic. The different tracking modes that you can use, the different modes itself, plus the really good algorithm that it has for stabilization really makes this product worthwhile. And finally, let's talk about power. Power, it's also a very important item when you're using a gadget, because you don't want to have all these cool features and then not be able to use it because it doesn't hold this charge or it doesn't have enough power to really satisfy your creative workflow. And this gimbal is pretty unique when it comes to specs for power because of all the added functionality. I'm gonna read right from their website here. So it would operate continuously for 7 hours when using the AI tracking, and the built-in fill lights are turned on. It operates continuously for 2 hours and 20 minutes when 2 magnetic fill lights are built in, are turned on. And then it operates continuously for 26 hours when the stabilizer is in standby mode. So that is the specs of this gimbal. All right, so now rounding out this video to my conclusion, let me first start by telling you that I've never thought that I would be using a phone gimbal for my creative workflow. And I found myself over the last 2 weeks really taking this along with me everywhere I went. Sure, I do have the Weebill, and I did showcase that on my channel recently. But with the Weebill, you have to take your mirrorless camera, which is something that I always don't want to take. So if I'm going to the beach, I'm going on a family activity, having that Weebill means that I need my Sony mirrorless camera. Where this changes my creative workflow is that I always have my phone with me, as I mentioned. So I may not always have a action camera with me, but I always do have my phone. And just using your phone, the camera qualities on this phone, on these phones, especially the iPhone 15 Pro Max, has ProRes, has all these great innovative solutions for you to capture your videos on your go. And then all you need is a gimbal, such as this Smooth, the gimbal, the ZHIYUN Smooth 5S, to really kind of complement the capabilities of your camera to stabilize your video and come up with the ultimate best cinematic reel. So This is something that I can use for those cinematic sequences or for just simply vlogging. I think this is something that's less intrusive than using a mirrorless camera, and I highly recommend it. I think everyone should check it out. If you don't own a camera, or you're trying to go out there and create video, but you need something to stabilize, go ahead and look at this. You can always even use this as a table tripod and film yourself at home or at a desk or at a picnic table such as this one at this park. So I think I've already said all that I can say about this gimbal. I'm excited about it. I can't wait to continue using it. The AI tracking is fantastic. I love how AI continues to get added on to all these new accessories and all these new devices. That's pretty much all that I have for you today, guys. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments below. There's in the descriptions, there's also links to this. Go ahead and check it out, and let me know if you grabbed one and what your thoughts are. And if you have other phone gimbals and you're looking to upgrade, I think leave that feedback down below as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I probably made this video way longer than what it should be. Thank you guys so much for the support and watching, and until next time, peace.